Okay, today we're going to practice our surface area from 3D figures. The first one we have, you have to pick your base, and I picked this side. Now your bases, remember, have to have another side opposite of it. It's got to be able to sit up and have one that is opposite. So in this figure, either side would work. I just chose this side. And the figure would look similar to a Kleenex box, okay? It would be sitting this way, but I chose to make the base like this. So it's actually going to be standing up. So when you understand where the base is, then you can determine your height. And this is your height. Okay? So to determine the surface area, you have to find the area of each face. Each side of this box has a face. You have top, bottom, side, front, back, side, side. And then we've talked about nets also. When you take the box apart, it lays out to be a net. So again, you would have the bottom, front, top, back, side, side. Okay? So let's just go ahead and look at our surface area. Now I'm going to label them. Okay, this is going to be my bottom, top. So I'm going to put bottom, top. Oh, get a darker pen. And then we have a front and back. Then we're going to have a side and a side. So I chose this to be my base because I want it to stand tall. So my base, the area of my base, to find area would be length times width. Well, 4 by 6. So 4 times 6 equals. And that's going to also be my top. So 4 times 6 equals. And you need to find the answer to those. I'm just helping you with the steps. So if that's my bottom, that's my top. I can use this as my front. So my front would be a 6 by 8. So 6 times 8. And my back would be the exact same. The front would match the back. So we have the 6 times 8 to find the area of the front and back. So now we just have the side and the side. And the side would be 8 and 4. So 8 times 4, 8 times 4. And again, you would need to do the math. That is the area of each face. But to find the total area, total surface area, you need to add up every single one of these. So top, bottom, front, back, side, side. Once you get all those, you add them up, and that would be your total surface area. Now then, in 8th grade, you will have a different formula or a different way you can find the surface area. And we're going to go into that later. Right now, this is just an easy way to understand how we're getting the total surface area. So again, if I took this figure and looked at the net, and this would be pretending it's a tissue box, okay? Any one of these could be the base. It's just whatever you choose because they both have something opposite of them that's parallel. And I'm just finding the area of each face and then adding all of that up. So the next figure would be something like a tent. This printed off really dark. Okay, but remember we talked about bases having to have an opposite side to it. So even though it sits like a tent, this is not the base. The triangles would be your base. This is important because when we do go into the 8th grade formula, you'll understand. But it's very important that you understand that on this figure, the triangle is your base. So, if I know that's my base, I'm going to color it in because I know that's the side that's going down and it's my base. So again, I've got to list all the sides of my figure. We would do, I'm going to call it my bottom, base bottom, bottom, and it has a top, and it's going to have three sides. I like to list them out so I don't get confused and forget that I still need to, that I don't do one twice or I don't forget a side. So again, this is the figure that we're actually looking at. Okay, not exactly right, but it is the same type. So we have our bases, and when we unfold it into a net, you see we have the triangle, triangle, side, side, side. So you need to look up, because we've got to find the area of the triangle. Well, the area of a triangle, if you look on your reference chart, area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 base, this is my base right here. And this is my height. When you're choosing your base and height, they have to be perpendicular. And you have to look for this right angle. So that's how we know this is my base and this is my height, because these lines are perpendicular and they form a right angle. So if this line is 6, this side is 6. So 1/2 6 times 4. And I know that's a fraction, and you're thinking, ugh, I don't want to do a fraction. Remember, fractions are only division problems. So really what you're going to find is 6 times 4 divided by 2. Okay, because that's your triangle. 6 times 4 divided by 2. That's going to be your top and your bottom. So 6 times 4 divided by 2. Now then, we have 3 sides. We have the one that's down here on the bottom and the left and the right side. Again, it's a little easier to see when it's in the net. We just did the triangles. Now we need the area of these three sides. They're not all the same, so don't assume that they're the same. I'm going to have this side is a 8, and it's a rectangle, so we can do length times width. So 8 times in this side, which is 5. Okay, so 8 times 5, and that gave me the left side. Now I want to do the middle side, and it's going to be an 8 by 6. 8 times 6. And then we're going to do the right side. So the right side is going to be another 8, because there's my 8. This line over here is my 8. So 8 times, and the height of this side would be another 5. So find the area of each face, and then to get the total surface area, you simply add all of these up to get your answer. Total surface area. And now we're only going to do the cylinder. And this one's pretty easy to determine which one is your base, because the cylinder would keep rolling around if we didn't set it up on the base. And again, it has the opposite to it, so we know without a doubt that's our base. This one's a little different because it is a cylinder. And if that's my base, this is my height. And what's different about this one is, if you have a can, something that's a cylinder, it's going to sit up like this. So there's my top and bottom. I'm going to pretend it's the peanut butter can. And when you take the label off and unroll it, that's what it would look like. So this is the net of the cylinder. So we need to know, this may be the this is the height. Okay, when you unroll it, so it's sitting up here. So this side is your height. This is your height. So I need to know, how long would it be? Now, to find that, because it's a circle over here, we have to find the circumference of the circle, because this height has to fit all the way around the lid. When you fold it back, it's got to fit all the way around the lid. So the circumference of a circle is the outside of the lid. Thus would be the height of your figure. So on your formula chart, circumference of a circle, and it gave us the radius, is 2 pi r. So I'm going to write 2 pi r. And that's going to give me the other dimension I need. So again, we need to find the total surface area. So I need the area of a circle and the area of this circle. So we're going to do top, bottom, and then that would be the circle. So area of a circle on your reference chart is A equals pi r squared. Pi r squared. Okay, that's a little different for me. Okay. So pi r squared. And with your calculators, you're going to do pi, and your radius is 3 squared. And you need to solve that problem. Remember, your radius is halfway. If it were to go all the way across, your diameter goes from here to here, and that would be 6. But radius is half. Diameter would be like a swimmer diving all the way across. So diameter, dive all the way across. Radius is just half. It's a little bone in your body. Okay. So again, top and bottom, pi radius squared. So figure that out on your calculator. And then we need to do the height of and the length of the middle figure, which is your label. Okay. So I'm going to put middle would be 7 times whatever your circumference was. So the circumference would be 2 pi r, which would be 2 times pi times 3. And multiply that answer by 7. So 2 times pi times r, that answer goes there. Multiply it by 7, because that's the height. And then for the total surface area, add all 3 of those up. And now we're going to stop and practice making the nets of these figures. But that will be easy now that we have all the dimensions and you know what the net should look like. Okay, we're going to draw it on graph paper using the dimensions that we just took and labeling them on graph paper. So there's the box. Cylinder, rectangular prism. So, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, leave them on Google Classroom.